Okay, big news on disappearing people at the lava tubes, Mount Shasta. Finally heard back from Claire McNeil, somebody who grew up in McLeod, in that area. And this is a famous story in that area. And it's getting bigger as time goes on. A lot going on at Mount Shasta, man. And I'm not kidding. I wouldn't do another Mount Shasta story if it wasn't ramping up. And it's ramping up. And let me tell you about Claire McNeil and her friend Jonathan. Now, Jonathan was another subscriber who's a Jonathan AXS4, who I didn't really believe at first, but these two are friends and she's local. So what happened was, and it's been going on for a long time, we're going back to the little boy who disappeared for a while in the lava tubes on the east side of Mount Shasta, and it's called Pluto's Cave, that area. It's pretty famous. And what happened there was the little boy disappeared for a while and then came back to camp with a wild story. And it kind of sounded weird, but then other people have been coming back with the same story. So now I'm going to get into what happened. Claire McNeil lives in McLeod, California. Real story. Hey, if you live in McLeod, comment on this. Let me know if you know about this. Wyntoon is a castle, a small castle owned by the Hearst Foundation. It's near McLeod. It's down on the McLeod River. Now, it's a pretty good distance from Mount Shasta, but it's still in the view of Mount Shasta. And there's lots of stories that connect this castle to Mount Shasta. But back to the lava tubes and people that crawl on these things and go and don't come back, or come back with just weird stories. And that's why I'm doing this. This guy, Jonathan, went into Pluto's Cave, an offshoot of Pluto's Cave, took a nap. Now, this is the same story. Took a nap. He was out. He said he felt like he was out for about an hour and a half. Got out, walked around, and people had said, hey, Jonathan, everybody says you're missing. They were looking for him. He was reported missing. And just locally, just for in that area, wasn't with the officials, just like people yelling, hey, where's our buddy? He's been missing. So anyway, they regrouped, found Jonathan, and it was no big deal. And then Jonathan started kind of reflecting on a dream that he had in Pluto's Cave when he took this nap. And the nap was that the dream was he woke up at Wyntoon Castle in a room. He'd never been to Wyntoon. Check this out. And he saw the room, and it was very vivid. And he saw the furniture and all the stuff in Wyntoon Castle. Now, there's a lot of houses and out buildings at Wyntoon. So, it could have been any one of those rooms and this very famous big estate, right? And so he'd never been there. So years later, now this is 12 years later, he thought to himself, and this is he and Claire, his friend, they wanted to go down to Wyntoon and do a tour. And before they said anything to anybody about, his dream that he had. And when he did the tour of Wyntoon Castle, it just was real familiar to him. And then when he eventually got into one of these rooms, up in the upper tier of one of the outbuildings, now he described what he saw in that room to many people, including Claire. Now, these are like best friends, right? Claire McNeil and Jonathan, they go up into this room, and that's the room. She sees it before he does. She sees the tapestries and the furniture set exactly like he described it, the view out the window of the McLeod River, the things that he saw exactly. Now, once he heard her say, hey, this is it, then he started kind of absorbing it, and that was it. It was very powerful for him. This is not fake. This is something that, he felt that he didn't really want to talk about for a long time until he got out there and looked at what was going on and went through this place. And then he started writing. He's writing a book about it. Then when they get back and, into town, McLeod and some other people start communicating with him, they start telling the same story of having a dream, taking a nap up near Mount Shasta, and having a dream, waking up in some sort of a 17th century or 18th century castle or home. And more of these people started going down to Wyntoon and finding where they were. What's the connection there? You know, is there a tunnel? Now, the other thing here, what I don't want to miss the most important part about this is there is a specific tunnel, cave, near Wyntoon Castle, right off the highway, near the river, where a couple of people have went into and have this same kind of story, but reversed, where they went in there and actually found themselves. Now, one story is that this person found himself up on Mount Shasta after falling asleep in this cave near Wyntoon. There's a connection there. It's pretty wacky and weird. I want help with this one. I made this kind of last minute spontaneous because I got this email today and it was finally like making sense to me. So please like and subscribe, and also comment and help me out with these stories. And I'm not even going to edit this. I just want you to watch it clean and clear. Thank you.